to let the people know what the next situation is going to be.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna start at the beginning because it's still kind of funny to me, because when the video came out, I'm giving a hint right now, like literally the next morning I got so many calls and people were like, oh my God, I saw the credit. Oh my God, Black is king. And I'm like, who? Black is what? Because I hadn't seen any of the trailers or anything, and when I got the job, it was still down as a hush project or a secret project. So I'm gonna start at the beginning and make you understand why, because people can't believe that I didn't know the title of the doggone video until y'all knew the title of the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay. I mean, it sounds crazy. I worked on it, but I didn't. So I get a call from my agent, and my agent is like, there's these people that called that are interested in using you for a video shoot. And I'm thinking, now, you know, Jamie, you know I don't do video shoots. I'm like, I have done my fair share of video shoots. I've done everybody's video shoots from Neo to Master P and everybody in between. And I've gotten to a point where I don't want to do these long drawn out, you know, shoots where you're gonna be on the video with all of these different people and all these women and all this different energy, and you're there all night long, like 5 a.m. until maybe about 2 or 3 a.m. the next day. I know it's a lot of people out here listening that can definitely relate, especially when I came here, you know, in the early 2000s, when we were making decent money for videos. Now, you know, with the way the market has changed, videos are not a thing. But anyway, I was like, well, you know, she was like, well, it sounds like it's gonna be a big deal because they won't tell me who the artist is unless you sign an NDA, and I think it's gonna be huge. I mean, I don't know who it is, but I'll do my research. So I'm thinking, well, what is this? And I was thinking the last time I did a video like this, which was only 2 years ago, I worked on Jay-Z's video, Smile, you know. So then here it is. My agent, she does her digging. We get back up to the story at hand. And she does her digging, and she comes back and she tells me the information about Miles J and about it being, you know, affiliated with the Jay-Z video somehow, and she still hadn't got a name, but I kind of was itching, thinking. But so anyway, he called and he introduced himself, and he was like, you know, he said, I'm really a fan of your work. He said that was one of the most beautiful videos I've ever seen, and he was like, the hair was amazing. He asked me all these great questions, you know. Mainly he was screening me. When I did find out that it was Beyonce, I was like, what? I'm like, hell yeah, I will do a Beyonce video. Are you kidding me? So in my mind, I was thinking, well, Beyonce travels with 2 hairstylists, so I know I'm not gonna do Beyonce, but I thought I was gonna do the girl. You know, they were like, and you need to have some assistants. And I was like, how many people? They were like 15 to 21 people. So I was department head of that sector, y'all. This video was huge. It took place in several different cities. It took place over several weeks. Like literally, they was here 1 week and then they went to Miami to do another week. And I think it happened all of this was happening during the opening of Tyler Perry's studio, and I think she had to show up there before she could come here. And
you had to travel to all these different locations?
I didn't. They are a very well-staffed, well-oiled engine. They are a very equipped team. They have people everywhere. We had a team and film crew and directing crew right here in LA of our own. In every city and country that they did, they had their own. So I mean, like, she's been doing it though a long time. So I would have imagined that, you know. And literally they had a time to a dime. Like, everything, you knew what time you were supposed to arrive. Dinner, breakfast was going to be at this time. It was a fully catered breakfast. We had our choice of an open bar of breakfast. We got fresh made omelets.
So
we had waffles. It was a full-on catering and craft services. We had coffee all day. We had snacks all day. We had wonderful locations. We did downtown in one of the studios, that whole voodoo black magic scene, where it looks like they were, you know, in some swamp where the dude has a snake around his neck, was right downtown. You know, so they literally had a wonderful creative team that made, you know, that came in and created the fantasy, which is what Disney does, because they were also in bed with Disney. And in addition to that, I wasn't necessarily hired by Beyonce's team, but by the Directors Guild of Los Angeles. So I wasn't even sorted out by Beyonce's team. So literally it was like a whole conglomeration of all these things made into one, which is why it was such a huge event. Little did I know that it was even going to be such a huge event. Like I said, I didn't even know the name of it, you know. It was literally the Beyonce Africa Project, or something like that was the working title. And I didn't know the title of it until it was released. So it was just as amazing. Even though I worked on it and saw a lot of it I didn't see. So it was just as amazing to have that experience with everyone else at the same time, you know, and get little glimpses and highlights of myself in the video, you know, not me physically, but my work. There's a moment in the video I remember the most. Because for me it was the longest day, and we did it in this wonderful garden that I didn't even know existed somewhere in Pasadena. And it literally looked like the rainforest. It had plants that I'd never seen before in my life. It was like a jungle. It was amazing. And they had a florist fly in all of these live flowers that we decorated the kids with. So all of those kids that you see with flowers all over them from head to toe was literally our team, you know, together collectively, because we had to do it real fast. So it was me and my two assistants, my sister Hope Lynn, I'm giving a plug here, and Devontae Washington. You know, those are my two right hands. And whenever I need help and they say we got a large crew, I know I can call on them too and depend on them to come and knock it out. It's like a battle. It's us against them. So literally, you know, two of us will be at the camp knocking heads down, and one would be down there on the shoot, you know, doing touch-ups until we were all done, until we had them all done. And I mean, literally, they were very specific. You know, they would send the kids back if the flowers weren't right. And although they had a lot of creative people, once she arrived, and she being Beyonce, I realized that it was all her creative vision. And I mean, literally the respect level went through the roof, because I saw this woman in her element doing things outside of just being beautiful and just all around talented. But, you know, to tell A camera, you know, let me, you know, can I just see some dailies on an A camera? And, you know, can we do a wide range on B? And,
so she was,
you know,
in charge of
like
the
she
entire
was
situation.
in charge. So she was directing the directors, you
Right.
know. And I love that, because it's nothing worse than a boss not knowing the different jobs, you know, that are being operated up under her jurisdiction. Because I feel like if you don't know the jobs that you give, then somebody can take advantage of you. But she's a businesswoman. And then to go from that to babysitting, because these kids, it was like, I mean, a good, you know, dozen to 20 kids, and they're just all everywhere. Their energy is everywhere for 6 hours, because you hire kids at 6 hours at a time. So they're running back and forth, and they're getting impatient, and they're setting up lights, and they're trying to shoot these kids, and then they're trying to see which kids has it. And then kids are jumping and flipping, and they got flowers on it, and it's hot, and the flowers are wilting, and it was like really chaotic. But Queen Bee, or Queen Bay, comes up on the scene, and literally that motherly instinct came in, and I mean, just a whole nother level of respect came in my heart, because literally she was like, you know, the kids were talking, and she talked to each and every one of them, and one of the little boys was like, I want to take a picture for my mama. And she was like, you can take a picture for your mama, come on. And they all came up, and she was giving them hugs, and then when they got out of line, she was checking them too, you know, right, and they was listening, you know, to Miss Beyonce. And it was cute.
So that was on TV right there.
Yes, you know. Right. And they used a newborn baby in the video that she was holding. And to see the excitement of the mother of this child, you know, like, it was like everything for me, like just to have that type of power and to create that type of magic with your presence is amazing. You know, I'm always talking about DaRico magic, and I have to always say that's what it's about. It's about being able to make someone feel good about themselves any way that you can. And and literally Beyonce came in, and she was all of that, and she did all those things. And then she did the camera thing, and she is incredible. Like when she sang that song, and when she was looking into that camera, whether you were looking into the feed or whether you were looking directly at her, you were to the understanding that this woman really knows her thing. I mean, she knows her angles. She knows how to give the passion in her eyes.
So it wasn't a game as far as
she is a professional 100%. 100%. Nobody can ever take that from her.
Black is King, Beyonce, DaRico Jackson. That's your people. He's from St. Louis, but that's your people.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
I mean, for me, I've seen him do a whole lot of stuff. So it's always a crazy type of situation. Like, I've seen him put a mohawk on a bald-headed person. So, yeah. So I've seen him do a whole lot of like way out stuff. But this one right here, I think for him, you know, rates up high.
Yo, real talk.
Plus the Jay-Z situation. Yeah.
Real talk. I was watching it and just going through the credits, because I actually knew a person that was on it, and then I saw his name, like, yo. So that's dope for DaRico, man. So moving on.
All right, what you got?
Let's take it to our nation's capital.
So you must be talking about Mr. Gross.
Mr. Demetrius Gross.
What's the get down? I'm Demetrius Gross. I'm an actor, writer, and producer.